Hey guys, Will with Rainier Leather Company. This is part 2 of our guitar strap little mini series, and I have everything already drawn out. The first kind of conceptualization of what I want this to look like we drew out in the last video, and now I'm going to go ahead and start cutting into some leather. We're going to be using some pretty thick, like 5.5 ounce leather, which is much thicker than what we'll be using for the final product, but it's close enough that I'll be able to get the information that I need and be able to make the changes that I want to make before we work on the final product. So what I've done is I've taken this big piece of leather, I have cut myself a straight edge, and now I'm gonna cut some straps and just get to it. Alright, so I'm sure you could tell by watching that I'm running into some issues, and I'm going to leave that all in. I think that's really good, and it just shows, even when it's something similar to a different project, this is such an unforgiving medium. There's so much to learn. There's so many things that you correct as you go, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about this. Is it stretches my brain. I have to try to figure things out, and now that I know my medium a lot better, it's easier to dial in. What used to take me weeks to figure out, now I can kind of do on the fly and go, it didn't work so well. So one of the things, this foam I'm using is a different foam than I've used before. It doesn't cut with a rotary cutter. I had to actually go to scissors to get the shape that I want. It has too much give to work with the blade that I was using to trim it down, so that was interesting. And then I was impatient with my glue up, and I've talked before about letting your glue get tacky, and I got a little impatient. I figured it was probably good enough, and I just went for it, and now I'm paying the price, and I'm having to do this, you know, a finger length at a time, and just hold this down and squeeze it together until that glue sets, which that's what I get for being impatient, but it's a good lesson to have reminded of, because there's a lot of steps with leatherworking where if you try to go quick, you're just going to wind up doing this and sitting here holding it for no reason other than you couldn't wait long enough for it to do what it needed to do. But that's where we're at right now. So far, it's going the way I want. I'm learning as I'm going, which is killer. And I have a pretty good feeling about this. I think it's going to turn out well. So I'll just kind of keep clamping this thing, and when that's done and it's holding, we'll get back to it. All right, we are at a good stopping point here. Through that video, you saw a lot of fiddling around. We're starting something, changing how I'm doing it a different way. And I wanted to leave all of that in to show that, you know, even when this is relatively simple as far as projects go, there's always something that you can do better, or, you know, you have the artistic ability to change up and you can accomplish the same thing a lot of different ways. But I'm always trying to find the thing that's going to work the best, what's going to produce the best outcome. And even in this prototyping stage, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna burnish it. I'm not gonna do a lot of stuff, but it is important to me that even in the prototyping stage that I really consider how this is gonna be as a finished product, where if I just cut all the corners I can when I'm prototyping, then when it comes time to make the actual finished product, maybe there was a thing or two that I missed because I just wasn't paying attention, but this is where we're at anyway. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots for adjustment, 2 pieces front and back, so you have the nice finished side showing and touching the body. We've got foam on the inside, which this is one thing that I learned after doing it. There's a different way I want to attach this foam in there because this wants to crease, and it's creasing right where I secured it with tape. And so I'll just glue it. That's not a big deal. It's just good to know that that's going to be an issue. And I've got a place to attach at the top. I stopped the foam right about there, and I've stopped the foam right about here. So I might shorten that just a little bit more, probably not much. And then I haven't put these straps together yet, so let's see. How does this go? Okay, so it's gonna come up through the bottom. Let's see if I cut that to the right size. Yep, perfect. Okay, pull it through, fish it through the back here. See, I'm trying to think if this is right. I think this is right. I don't know. We'll find out. And then it goes through the back here, through this piece. And yep, right size. Cinches down here, just like that. So now it's secure right there. And you're just gonna fish it through. And this will be how this thing works. And I've got a couple of spots, I've got 3 adjustments here for just a little bit more adjustment on the base of the guitar. And there we go. So attaches at the bottom, attaches at the top. You got adjustment here. You can do that one of 2 ways. You can either loop it all the way through, hook it down here, or you can move this up and down as you see fit. But I'm pretty happy with that. Other than a couple of little things, I think we're ready to roll. So there's gonna be a couple of different processes as far as how I do the glue up. So instead of cutting 2 pieces that are the same width and trying to do the pinch like I was doing, I think what's gonna be easier is if the bottom piece is a little bit wider, I can put it down, glue it, and then trim it nice and flush instead of having it pucker on this edge a little bit. It's fine now that it's stitched, but it would have made it easier cutting it out. So anyway, there is the finished prototype, and in the next video, we'll get started on the real deal. All right, again, appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Really appreciate all the support, and I'm glad that you guys are entertained by what I'm doing, and I'll keep being here making stuff. So have a great night, and I'll talk to y'all later.